renewable will not get over because it can get replenished back after some years, but non-renewable takes to replenish it back, it takes millions to millions of years. So what is an alternative? If we know that, if we understand the beauty of that, then only we'll have an urge to protect the biodiversity. So that is why they have put this topic at the first. Global warming, climate change, ozone layer depletion, acid rain can have a large impact on the agriculture. Hello everyone, a warm welcome to this introductory class on environmental studies for second semester B.Ba. I'm Dr. Divya, EVS faculty, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. So in this session of introductory class, we will learn about what are the contents that are present in the syllabus for environmental studies, and then we'll look into how the model question paper is set. So talking about the syllabus, there are totally 8 units in this syllabus. So in unit 1, they have kept Introduction to Environmental Studies. In unit 2, we completely study about the ecosystem, what are the components of the ecosystem and all that. In unit 3, we need to know about the natural resources, that is, what are the different renewable and non-renewable natural resources. And in unit 4, we talk about the biodiversity and how to conserve the biodiversity. So talking about unit 5, it is completely based on the pollution of the environment. And in unit 6, it is certain laws or policies and practices that has been set up to protect and safeguard the environment. That is under environmental policies and practices. Then under unit 7, there is human communities and the environment. What are our main aims and goals to maintain the environment is what we study under this. And under unit 8, it is completely field work, wherein it is the effort that the students put under it, like how there are certain set of field work projects that are being given in the syllabus, out of which 1 or 2 you need to submit to get marks for that. So moving further, let's look into the contents that are present in each of these units. So as I said, unit 1 is about Introduction to Environmental Studies. So here we need to know the multidisciplinary nature of environmental studies. That is, environmental studies are applied in different fields. So what are they is what we learn under this. And the components of the environment, that is, we need to know about the atmosphere, the hydrosphere, the lithosphere and the biosphere. Then moving further, we need to learn about the scope and importance of environmental studies, because environmental studies in today's world has been applied in different fields. Say for example, when we think of engineering, there also environmental studies is there, because you need to build a structure or you need to build a bridge or a dam or a house, as simple like a house or something. You need to know about the condition of the soil. You need to know about the surrounding environment. Whatever project you're taking up should not pose a threat to the animals or the human population living around it. So all that will be studied under. So that is why learning environmental studies is very important. And because we are living with the environment, it is our duty to protect the environment. So it is the duty of every person to know about the environment. So that an idea is given under scope and importance of environmental studies. Then moving to the concept of sustainability. So sustainability is nothing but how much a thing, whatever thing you purchase or something, how much you can make use of it. Is it recyclable? So not putting a lot of trash to the environment. Whatever material you have, you need to reuse it. So that is about the sustainability, the concept of sustainability and sustainable development. So that is what we learn under this particular topic. So moving to unit 2, it is about ecosystems. So ecosystem, what is an ecosystem is what you learn, and the structure and the function of the ecosystem. So talking about the function of the ecosystem, in the ecosystem energy flows take place, right? Say for example, there is the food chain and the food web. So in the food chain and the food web, there are various trophic levels wherein we have the producers, the consumers, then comes the primary consumers, the secondary consumers, the tertiary consumers. Say for example, the grass. So the insect feeds on the grass. So the insect is eaten by the hawk. The hawk is eaten by some another animal, and or a carnivore, for example, lion, say for example. So it's like that. The trophic level goes on increasing. Or another example to take, the grass or the plants are eaten by the goat. The goat is eaten by the humans. So it is like that. The trophic level or the food chain continues. So it is about how the energy, and the energy as and when it flows from the lower trophic level to the higher trophic level, the energy consumption tends to decrease because a part of energy is lost or given back to the ecosystem. So all that you will study under energy flow in an ecosystem, wherein you'll study about the food chain, food web, and also about ecological succession. Ecological succession is nothing but, you might have seen in streams and ponds, you are traveling from one place continuously, that is once in a month, and after few years you just visit that place, you can see that where there was a pond, in the middle of the pond or the size of the pond would have decreased because of some plants and other things growing on it. So that is called as, in a area which was something else before, on that the area tends to change because of something else growing on it. So that is called as ecological succession. In details, the details of all this is being done in the concept classes, wherein you can look at the videos. So also we need to study about the forest ecosystem, then the grassland ecosystem, the desert ecosystem, the aquatic ecosystem, wherein we need to study about the ponds, the streams, lake, rivers, oceans, estuaries, etc. Because each of these different ecosystems have their own kind of species of plants and animals or flora and fauna growing on that. So all that we need to study about under these different types of ecosystems. So next, moving to unit 3, that is natural resources. Natural resources are the ones which can be renewable and non-renewable. Say for example, we have water. Water can be renewable, or fossil fuels are non-renewable, because once the petroleum products are over completely, then it will take millions to millions of years for those petroleum products to get formed back, right? So that is called as non-renewable resources. Under renewable resources and non-renewable resources, we need to study about land resources, and how, because of the current human population or because of our over exploitation of the land, how the land is changing, how the land is becoming inhabitable for the plants. So all that we will study under this, and how the land is getting degraded or it is getting spoiled, and because of overcutting of trees and all that, how soil erosion is occurring, and further it is leading to desertification, because if trees are not there, of course rainfall also will get reduced. So all that we will study under this. And also we have a topic wherein we need to study about deforestation, is nothing but cutting of trees. So if deforestation is done, what and all will it impact on the human population, or be it the ecosystem? And we need to know about the causes of deforestation. Under that we need to know about mining, dam, because of mining, dam building and all that, also deforestation occurs, because to build a dam you need space, you need to clear the forest, acres of lands of forest you need to clear. So all that is resulting in deforestation. About that we need to study. And then we need to study about the biodiversity and the tribal population, how deforestation affects the tribal population also we need to know under this. Next, we need to know about the water. So what are the uses of water? And if we know about the uses of water, then only we'll try to protect it, right? So we need to know how we are over exploiting the surface water, because surface water and groundwater are different. So surface water are nothing but your ponds, lakes, rivers and all that are surface water that can be drinkable, and sometimes because of human beings itself it may not be drinkable also. And the other thing is groundwater. So groundwater is nothing but the bore wells and the wells that are there, that is nothing but the groundwater. And because of pollution and all that, both the surface and the groundwater is being polluted. And also we need to discuss about how floods occur, what causes droughts, and because of the scarcity of water, conflicts go between two states. Say for example, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. We are fighting over the river Kaveri, right? Especially it starts during the summers because of scarcity of water. So we need to study about the conflicts over water. That is, conflicts over water can occur both in the international level as well as the interstate level. So we need to take some examples and learn about that. Then if water availability, or if the soil is dry, or if water in the atmosphere is also dry, or if water is not there properly, it can result in heating of earth. And we need to know about how water is important for the circulation of air. So we need to know about the heating of earth and circulation of air, then how air mass formation will occur, and finally it will lead to rainfall, that is precipitation. So for all this, if rainfall needs to occur, the first source is water, because then only the plants will absorb water, or the water that is there will get evaporated, it will form clouds, or the plants will transpire water, that also can result in cloud formation. So all that is needed. So therefore it is connected. Water and rainfall are connected to one another. So all that we need to know here. Next, talking about the energy resources, wherein we have the renewable and non-renewable energy resources. And we need to learn about the use of. So if renewable will not get over, because it can get replenished back after some years, but non-renewable takes to replenish it back, it takes millions to millions of years. So what is an alternative? Say for example, like we have the diesel, petrol and all that, which are non-renewable, which are the fossil fuels, which are non-renewable. Now, if that gets over, what is the alternative? Electric vehicles have come, right? Or people are trying to extract fuel from Jatropa, that Jatropa plant. So like that, alternatives are there. So what all are the different alternatives that can be used, that we need to study here. And the growing population is putting a stress on the energy needs also. So what are the growing energy needs we need to study? And also we need to study some case studies under the renewable and the non-renewable energy resources. Next, moving to Unit 4, it is completely on biodiversity conservation, wherein we need to first know about the levels of biological diversity. That is, in that we have genetic species and ecosystem diversity. And we need to know about the biogeography zones of India, and the biodiversity patterns, and the global biodiversity hotspots. Because if we know that, if we understand the beauty of that, then only we'll have an urge to protect the biodiversity. So that is why they have put this topic at the first. And then we move on to how India is a big biodiversity nation, and what are the different endangered and endemic species of India, because we need to know this, what are the endangered and endemic species, because we as citizens of this country, it is our duty to, if somebody is smuggling an endangered species or an endemic species, if we get to know about it, it is our new duty to stop that. And by mistake, if for example, if we don't know which is the endemic and endangered species, we might cause harm to it also. So knowing about that is quite important. Next, we need to know about the threats to biodiversity. So because of the threats to biodiversity, habitat loss can occur, and habitat loss can occur because of poaching of wildlife, and also because of man-wildlife conflicts. That is, usually the conflict between the elephants and the man is the most common one, which results in death of elephants and all that. So man-wildlife conflict. We need to talk about biological invasions. Biological invasions are nothing but one species of plant invades a particular habitat and prevents the growth of the plants that were already there in that habitat. Say for example, we have Parthenium. Parthenium came from another country. It was not at all a plant in India. It was not present in India at all. But during the import of wheat from other countries, along with the wheat, these Parthenium seeds came in, and now anywhere you see, you get to see Parthenium, right? So that is how it has caused an invasion on the Indian land. So we need to study about the various biological invasions, and we need to know about the in situ and ex situ conservation of biodiversity, wherein we need to know about the national parks, the sanctuaries, the zoos and all that. Next, we need to learn about the ecosystem and biodiversity services. So how ecosystem provides services to us, what all it has in its hands to offer to us is what we study here. So under this, we need to know about the ecological, economic, social, ethical, and aesthetic as well as informational value the ecosystem and biodiversity provides to us. So that is about Unit 4. Unit 5 is environmental pollution. So environmental pollution, the common ones that we keep on studying right from our primary classes is the air pollution, the water pollution, and the noise. Apart from that, there is the radioactive pollution, there is the nuclear pollution and all that. So all that we will study here. So we need to know about the different types of environmental pollution, what are the causes of these environmental pollution, and what are the effects of these environmental pollution, and how can we protect or control the environmental pollution. So we need to concentrate on air pollution, water, soil pollution, chemical pollution, and noise pollution. And we need to know about the nuclear hazards. Now it is about the nuclear hazards, right? Even they are saying that maybe vehicles might come up with nuclear power. It is an idea that is there. So what are the hazards of it? Is it good for the environment? Is it good for the habitants of the earth is what we need to know. And what are the human health risks these nuclear hazards will pose is what we need to understand here. And talking about the solid, so one of the biggest nuclear hazard, if we have to say, is about the Hiroshima Nagasaki, the bombing, right? How even today, the people of certain areas there, the children are born with disabilities. So we need to know the after effects of it, how long the after effects will persist, because if somebody's mistake, the future generation should not have a problem. So that all how to, so if we know this, we will know about, not like we'll have an idea of how much hazardous is the nuclear materials. Next is solid waste management. Solid waste is one of the biggest problems faced by every country, because every day in a household itself we have a lot of waste that is being produced. So how can we dump them? How to manage them? Can we leave it as such? No, the earth will become filthy, right? So therefore, what are the control measures of urban as well as industrial waste is what we need to know here. So this is one of the common thing, like what we can do every day is like separate every day the garbage collector. They put this in the speaker, right? That you need to separate the dry and the wet waste. Why is that? So that the garbages can be maintained in a proper manner, or what needs to be done with the dry material recycling and can be done, the wet material can be used for making menus and all that. So like that. So that is how some small things that we can do to maintain the urban and the industrial waste. Next is we need to study about the pollution case study. So one of the best example is Delhi. We can take it as an example. So Unit 6 is environmental policies and practices. So here we need to know about the climate change, various activities related to or various summits related to climate change, global warming, ozone layer depletion. Of course, the scientists are saying that the ozone layer is coming back to life, or the ozone layer, the hole in the ozone layer is just reducing. That is what they are saying. So, and we need to know about the acid rain and the impacts on human communities and agriculture. Of course, global warming, climate change, ozone layer depletion, acid rain can have a large impact on the agriculture. So all that we need to study under this. Next is various environmental laws that have been put up to safeguard the environment, because without law, nobody will take the initiative of not doing something bad, right? So what are the different laws? Like we have Environmental Protection Act, then the Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act, then Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act, then we have the Wildlife Protection Act, then there is the Forest Conservation Act, then international agreements. In this, Montreal and Kyoto protocols, which is very important, usually asked in the exam. Then there is Conservation on Biological Diversity, then Chemical Weapons Convention. Of course, this is very important. Otherwise, all the countries will end up in nuclear wars, right? So, Chemical Weapons Convention, we learn about how the laws are framed for using the nuclear weapons and all that. Next is nature reserves is what we need to know, and we need to know about the tribal population and the rights of the tribal population, though they live in the forest or they are a separate community of people who has no contact. So there are some tribes even today which do not have a contact with the outside world, right? So what are their rights and all that we need to know, and we need to know about the human wildlife conflicts that are currently occurring in India. Talking about Unit 7, it is about human communities and the environment. So in this, human population is the biggest threat, because as and when the population increases, the demand for all the materials in the ecosystem goes up. So we need to know about the human population and growth, and if the human population exceeds, then what will have and what is the hazards of the environment, and also what are the impacts of the growth of human population on human health and welfare is what we need to know here. And this is one very interesting topic, carbon footprint, wherein we learn like every day some things that we use knowingly or unknowingly is building up a lot of carbon, or dumping up a lot of carbon into the environment. So what is the carbon footprint? What are the materials responsible for that is what we learn here. This is a quite interesting topic. And then we have about resettlement and rehabilitation of project affected persons, some case studies. Say for example, tiger projects in Shivamogga or something, wherein those villagers near the surrounding the bridges of the forest, wherever they are being evacuated. So when they are evacuated because of dam construction or because of some nature reserve projects and all that, their life tends to get affected. So what all are those is what we study under this. Then we need to know about the disaster management. That is, this is the basics that every human being needs to know. What we need to do when floods come, when earthquakes, cyclones and landslides. So during these situations, how the government should react and how the people should react is what we need to learn under this. Next, environmental movements. This is also quite interesting. You all might know about most of the environmental movements. One of the first environmental movement that we always remember is the Chipko movement. Then comes the Silent Valley, that is of Kerala, and then is the Bishnois of Rajasthan. So Bishnois of Rajasthan, they have a love towards nature. I think their love towards nature can't be matched by anyone, because that is how they serve the nature a lot. So it's quite interesting, these topics. Then we have environmental ethics. So what is the environmental ethics? A person, once we are put on this planet, we have certain ethics. You're living your life. When you're living your life also, you carry certain ethics. You should not cause problem to anyone. You should follow the rules and regulations. That is the ethics that we follow, right? So we need to follow some ethics towards the environment as well. So what are those ethics that we need to keep up? And these environmental ethics have been inscribed in various religious contexts. Say for example, in a Sikh community or in Hindus or in Christians, Muslim, all their holy books have certain topics wherein environment has been touched. So what are the responsibilities of the people towards the environment? Phrases are being put in those holy books. So that is what we will learn here. And then we'll learn about environmental communication and public awareness. And also we'll learn about some case studies like for example, how CNG, that is CNG vehicles were introduced in Delhi to curb the air pollution. So all that we'll study under Unit 7. Next is Unit 8. It is entirely the students who will be doing this, wherein field work is given. So a set of 4 field work topics has been given. Out of the 4, any 1 or 2 is what you need to do. It's quite interesting because you'll get to know or you get to be with the environment. So it's quite interesting. It is something different especially for the students with the commerce background. This will be quite interesting because from the 4 walls of the classroom, you can just go out and blend with the environment. So these are the different topics that are there. So this was about the syllabus. So next, moving further, I'll give an idea of how the question paper is set. So this is the skeleton of the question paper for 2020-23, that is last year. So actually this is a question paper that is set by the MYSURU University, wherein the maximum marks was for 80 and the time duration is 3 hours. So it consists of 3 parts, part A, part B and part C. In part A, 2-mark questions will be asked. That is 10 2-mark questions will be asked, wherein Any out of the 12 that is given, any 10 you need to answer. Each will carry 2 marks. Here usually definitions will be asked, like define ecosystem, or what is biodiversity, what is ex situ conservation. So like that, definitions will be asked. That is what will be asked usually in these. What is sustainable development? What is air pollution? What is pollution? So like that, definitions will be asked. Next is part B, wherein 8 questions of 5 marks each will be asked. So out of 10, 8 questions you need to answer. So it is a 5 marks. So you need to write it at least 1 page you need to write to get 5 marks, or at least 2 pages you need to write. So here also direct questions will be asked, like explain the causes and effects of noise pollution, or explain or write a note on the Bishnois of Rajasthan, their contribution towards nature. Like that, direct questions only. So nowhere indirect questions will be asked, always direct questions. How the topic is given in the syllabus, same way only, from that only questions will be asked. Next, part C is detailed. You have to write it when at least 3 to 4 pages is required here. So you need to write in detail. So here they can ask about different pollutions, they can ask about the sustainable development, they can ask about the various things, that is the environmental laws or multidisciplinary nature of environmental studies. Like that, questions can be asked, wherein out of 3, any 2 you have to write, and those 2 questions will carry a 10 mark each. So totally 80 marks is the question paper that was set last year. So this is for Mysore University. It depends on the university. Say for example, some of the universities like Gulbarga University and all that, they can have only multiple choice questions. Some of the university, they conduct the annual exam for 30 marks. Some of them conduct for 50. Some of them conducts for 60 marks. So it depends on the university. But here I have put the model question paper of Mysore University. So this is about this session, wherein we got an idea of what and all are the contents that are there in the environmental studies syllabus, and also we got an idea of the model question paper that is being set. So whatever it is, you do not have to worry, because direct questions are the ones that will usually appear. So I hope you found this session useful. So we shall meet again in the coming sessions, where concept classes will meet in the concept classes, wherein each topics will be discussed on the particular syllabus that is there. So see you in the coming sessions. Thank you.